Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
Saints are back on the practice field. Darren Rizzi has wrapped up his meeting with the media. There are notable things to get to here out of Saints practice, both in personnel and in, call it matchup with the Raiders, although I don't think many people are just jazzed to watch the Saints and the Raiders noon on Sunday in the Dome. But nonetheless, final home game of the season. Get out there, support the black and gold. So the Saints have kind of just treated this like a Thursday week. That's what Rizzi mentioned today, that this has just been a preparation for like they would a Thursday game. They obviously didn't practice yesterday with it being Christmas, but they did release an estimated injury report, and there were no changes from that to today. Derek Carr did not practice, no longer listed with the concussion, but listed with the left hand still. Remember, he is still in concussion protocol until he practices, and they will not put him out on the field to practice until that left hand is at a point where they believe he can function in everyday, every game, normal quarterback routine activities. So while they don't list concussion anymore, he still is not officially cleared concussion protocol until he practices, and he did not today. For what it's worth, Spencer Rattler did take the first team reps for the New Orleans Saints on Thursday in practice, and Darren Rizzi confirmed after in his media availability that if Derek Carr cannot go, it will once again be Spencer Rattler getting the start. Should not come as a surprise. As long as Carr is not out there, that seems to be the path that they will go. Alvin Kamara is the other one to really keep an eye on. Of course, Kamara dealing with the groin. Kamara did not practice again on Thursday. After practice with the media, Darren Rizzi mentioned that it's probably more likely that you'll see Alvin Kamara against the Buccaneers in Week 18 than against the Raiders in Week 17. So don't expect Alvin Kamara to trot out there in the Dome against the Raiders. You'll see much of what you saw before, whether it's Kendre Miller, Jamal Williams, I'm blanking. 33. Jordan Mims. Thank you, Taylor. Jordan Mims, and we'll see what maybe might transpire, of course, with Clyde as well. But Kamara, back-to-back days, even an estimated now, did not practice. Rizzi says more likely for Kamara in week 18 against the Bucs. Look, y'all know where I'm going with this. For me, there's just no reason for Derek Carr or Alvin Kamara to step foot on the field again this year. The Saints are playing for nothing. I don't think Darren Rizzi's getting this job at this point, so there's not even that caveat. With Kamara, I'll hear you on the 1,000-yard rushing. That would be awesome. He's never done it in his career. I can hear that argument. However, my rebuttal to that is I don't need him going out there battling a soft tissue injury, which have just been an absolute voodoo curse for the New Orleans Saints and New Orleans sports in general when you throw in the Pelicans this season, to where I don't need him potentially re-aggravating that to where it could impact him going forward into next year, training camp, OT, all of those things. That's just not, you signed into an extension. We've had the conversation of whether that was a good idea, but it doesn't matter. You signed him. I don't need Alvin Kamara on the field again this year. Would I love to see him get the 50 yards that he needs? Sure. But I'd also rather him be healthy, because you did extend him and you are tied to him now for 2 more seasons. Derek Carr, same deal. You're tied to him. He's going to be your quarterback next year, most likely. There's just no reason, with literally nothing left to play for from a goal standpoint and a postseason standpoint, to run 2 guys that important to you out there in a game against the Raiders and the Buccaneers. But we'll see what they do. Darren Rizzi, again, was adamant that they both are trying their best and hardest to get back on the field. And yeah, a lot of that's admirable because of everything that we just said. There is nothing left to play for, and they want to be out there with the guys. So I'll tip my hat to you on that too. And I can understand the competitiveness in that regard, but I'm also looking more towards the future of the franchise in my commentary here. Eric McCoy, Lucas Patrick, both did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Again, Wednesday was estimated. And Darren Rizzi confirmed already after practice on Thursday that McCoy and Patrick are both out. So Shane Lemieux, come on down. You'll be at center, and you'll have the replacement at guard as well. Missing those 4 guys is going to be tough for the New Orleans Saints. The Las Vegas Raiders are bad. They are not a good football team. They're horrible. And they're a 1-point favorite right now in this football game on the road in the Dome. The Saints have just been that unimpressive when they've had to turn to the backups amid all these injuries. The one real positive thing to come out of Saints practice in this injury report is Chris Olave, who's obviously dealt with plenty of concussions. We're aware of that. And it's thought that his season maybe was over. And there were even questions about his long-term career. All of that speculative. He had his second opinions, did all of that, and returned to practice a week ago in a limited capacity. When the estimated injury report dropped on Wednesday, Chris Olave would have been a full participant in practice for the Saints on Wednesday had they held it. Well, today they did hold practice, and if you're listening at the start of this segment, I told you there were no changes. Chris Olave was a full participant in practice today for the New Orleans Saints, and that is a great sign. Darren Rizzi, after practice, said Olave's day-to-day. There's no guarantee that he's playing this week, and there's no guarantee that he plays the rest of the season. And I would lump him in that same boat with Carr and Kamara and those guys where I don't need to see Chris Olave again this season. But what's so encouraging is that he's back out there when you did have all the speculation on this season and potentially career, because concussions are serious business. And this has been a recurring thing for Olave. Just to see him go through the rehab, the second opinions, and get to a point where he can be a full participant again, that's massive. And that's a win. That's a win for him. And hopefully down the road it will be a win for the New Orleans Saints. But first and foremost, just for Chris Olave, the person, that's a win. So you damn right, we're going to celebrate that. So Olave back at practice, officially day-to-day, full capacity back at practice, and officially day-to-day. We'll see if he does make a return at some point this season. Again, for me, I don't believe that necessary. Just fired up to see him back out there. Juwan Johnson, Nathan Shepard, Peyton Turner, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, all limited in practice. We'll keep up with their status as the week goes along. For the Raiders on their side, no change except for Dylan Lobb. Running back illness, did not practice. And then former LSU Tiger, Kayvon Chason, was added to the injury report today with a foot, but was a full participant. The NFL just has those rules that if you have any type of injury, you have to be on there and your status designated. So Chason's battling a foot, but was a full participant. That's big for the Raiders, man, because Kayvon's really come along here the last few games, but really about the last 5. We talked about that in Tigers in the Pros a few weeks. He's got like 75% of his sacks over the last month of the season. Same with like his TFL. Same with his tackles in general. He's really kind of starting to emerge into a bright spot, which, look, from a Saints perspective this week, obviously you don't want to see, but man, that's a guy who, again, 2019 LSU, always going to be revered in Louisiana, first-round draft pick in 2020. You'd love to see it finally kind of work out. So just kind of something to keep an eye on there for the Raiders heading into this game with the New Orleans Saints.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.